Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the BFTAA and More Show with your host, Louis George Walker, coming to you from the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center located at 4510 East Linwood Boulevard. This is a project that is a partnership between the Black Family Technology Awareness Association and the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. We came together to form this radio station, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom. KUAW is the name. So we're just glad that you're here with us today, and we're looking to give you some good information. A lot of things going on technology-wise. A lot of things that are happening that we need to be aware of, and things going on in the city. So we're going to talk about that, and we're also going to talk about some of the developments, innovations that are coming on, and the things that we as the Black Family Technology Awareness Association are going to be doing in and around the Kansas City area. Also, some collaborations that we hope to put together. So we're working on some things that we can't mention right now until we get things finalized, but we're looking to try and move forward now that we're post-pandemic. So we're in our post-pandemic growth phase now. So we're rebuilding and building even better than we were before. So we'd like for you to get involved, and you can always help out the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, because we're always looking for volunteers and people that would like to be involved with this organization. So if you are such a person, be sure and contact us. You can reach us on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. Put in KUAW Radio on a lot of your sites, or go to our website, www.kuaw.org, and find out what's going on. You can also go to the Black Family Technology Awareness Association website, which is www.bftaa.org. So look us up on Facebook, on YouTube, on all your social media, Instagram. We're going to get on TikTok at some point here. We've been behind in getting into some of the new technologies that are going on, but we're looking to move forward with that also. So yeah, it's summertime here in Kansas City, and we're going to talk about that heat that's coming. It's a little humid out, but it's not really that hot, 80-something degrees today. Been working out in the yard and around the house and doing some things to try and make it look a little better. So it's just all in summertime being here. So we're going to get right to the point now, because we're always liking to talk about what's going on in technology. And one of the leading organizations in technological innovation is the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, which is NASA for short. They've been launching spacecraft for years, ever since we've been in the space program, or a little after. I think it wasn't NASA when it first started. The Air Force was in charge of launching and building the rockets and spaceships. Now the NASA is in charge of that, and we're constantly growing and improving in things. So we're sending civilians up into space. There's private companies that are sending people to the space station. I can see in the future that space station will be independently run, or it may have a lot of different compartments that will be separate. Companies and things like that NASA own it, but they'll be leasing out space, so to speak, to a lot of different other entities around. But that's a new business cycle that's getting started and moving forward. And let's keep growing and keep going. Now, we always give you some information from NASA. The first thing that we'll show you is what's up this week at NASA. Then we're going to go into the Space to Ground, which talks about what's going on at the space station at NASA. And the last thing that we'll do from NASA is a What's Up, NASA What's Up, which they'll talk about. It's a monthly show of what's going on in the night sky, things that you can look at and see for this month in June. So after you get your pencil, your paper out, be sure and check these things out, because you'll be able to see some good sights, some planets, things that you maybe didn't know were out there if you check out what's up at NASA. So without further ado, we're going to give you some educational information from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. And we're going to start this off with what's happening this week at NASA.
The Artemis II moon mission crew visits D.C., another partner to land humans on the moon, and preparing to get to the heart of cosmic matter. A few of the stories to tell you about this week at NASA. The Artemis II astronauts were in the Washington, D.C. area May 17th through May 19th to discuss their upcoming moon mission. NASA's Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, and Christina Hammock-Cook, and the Canadian Space Agency's Jeremy Hansen met with members of Congress, officials at the Canadian Embassy, and participated in other activities. Artemis II will be the first mission to fly astronauts to the moon in more than 50 years. On May 19th, we selected Blue Origin to develop a sustainable human landing system for the Artemis V moon mission. The human landing system will transport astronauts to and from the lunar surface and gateway in lunar orbit as part of NASA's return to the moon for science, exploration, and inspiration. The agency already is working with SpaceX to develop landers for the Artemis III and Artemis IV missions. The Focal Plane System, or FPS, the heart of our Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope, was recently delivered to Ball Aerospace in Colorado to be integrated into the telescope's primary instrument, a giant camera called the Wide Field Instrument. Roman, which is targeted for launch by May 2027, will help unravel the secrets of dark energy and dark matter, look for exoplanets, and carry out other infrared investigations of the cosmos. Researchers have used our James Webb Space Telescope to confirm water vapor around a comet in the main asteroid belt, a rare so-called main belt comet for the first time. This finding indicates water ice from the ancient solar system can be preserved in that region of space, which is closer to the sun than where most comets are typically located. Now, researchers will try to figure out why, unlike other comets, this one had no detectable carbon dioxide. That's what's up this week at NASA. For more on these and other stories, follow us on the web at nasa.gov/Twan.
On right now at NASA, and we're so glad that you're able to check that out. And as you see now that NASA's working with SpaceX and other companies to put vehicles on the moon, space rockets and stuff, and that's where private enterprise is starting to take the control. Is slowly moving so that they'll be able to launch, they'll be able to do not exploration, but work and industry and business type things on the moon and beyond. And that's what the government does, is that the research and development that is done by the U.S. government, your tax dollars and mine, is to improve and sometimes to make a new industry. There wasn't a space industry before we started flying into space, which was done for military purposes and to stay ahead of the Russians, and they put satellites up. But now most of the satellites are serving not the government or the military, but they're serving you and I. There's GPS, which is kind of the government and us because the military uses it. But a lot of your television, your streaming, your cable or direct TV, those type of things are business enterprises that have been grown out of the space development. So we want to keep developing and keep growing because that opens up new industries. I mean, you've got people that are working in industries that didn't exist 50 years ago that are industries now. So the satellite, the cell phones, those type of things may have started off as research and development, not the cell phone because AT&T kind of developed that, but say these things that are happening in space. And even on Earth, the internet was funded by the government and was for military uses as to have a robust communication system that couldn't be knocked out easily, which I don't know how that's going with the way these hackers are working, but that was a thing that was started for university, for research purposes, for the government, for the military, that is now basically being used by everybody. And there are a lot of businesses in the internet working with your social media, working with streaming and all of that, that was started from government research. and development. So we always want to stay ahead and have research and development going on, because that's what helps mankind move forward, and it helps the United States move forward. We're one of the leaders in that innovation field, so we want to make sure that we stay leaders in that. And right now, it is a struggle because there are a lot of countries that have engineers that are developing their own science industries. So we want to make sure that we keep pushing kids, our young people, into STEM if they are oriented toward that. If they like science, technology, engineering, mathematics, we need to have more engineers, more scientists, more innovators that are working to develop new and better equipment, better machinery. All of that needs to be happening because other countries aren't sitting on their hands. And that's something that we'll talk about later too, because there's a lot of discussion about AI and the good and the bad of it. And we need to be able to step back and look at AI and what it is and what maybe are some of the things that we have to watch out for and things that we wanted to do for us. It's some people are saying it could be the end of the world. It could be the Terminator type of future. The AI may get smart enough to say, hey, you humans are just in the way. So those are some of the things that we have to talk about, we have to wrestle with, and find out how that's going to go. But we're going to go into a little bit more. Right now we're going to go into Space to Ground from NASA. So let's check out what's happening at the space station this week. Just a second here.
Welcome to Space to Ground. I'm Jaden Jennings. The second all-private astronaut mission to the International Space Station came to an end this week, returning to Earth after 9 days in space. The Axiom Mission 2 crew successfully undocked from the station's Harmony module on Tuesday, May 30th. While aboard the orbiting laboratory, the crew conducted several experiments, and AX-2 commander Peggy Whitson added to her U.S. record for the most days in space at 675 days on 4 space flights. While one spacecraft returns from the space station, another one is ready to take its place. SpaceX's 28th commercial resupply mission is scheduled to launch from the Kennedy Space Center on Saturday, June 3rd. The uncrewed Dragon spacecraft is carrying scientific experiments and technology demonstrations that will help benefit humanity on and off the planet. One payload on this mission is Thor Davis, an investigation from the European Space Agency. The vantage point of the space station will allow researchers to observe electrical activities that happen above thunderstorms, particularly the inception, frequency, and altitude of recently discovered blue discharges. Scientists plan to estimate the energy of these phenomena to determine their effect on the atmosphere. A better understanding of lightning and electrical activity in Earth's atmosphere can improve atmospheric models and provide a better understanding of Earth's climate and weather. The upcoming arrival of the cargo Dragon to the station will also set the stage for a round of June spacewalks. On Friday, June 9th, and again on Thursday, June 15th, NASA astronauts Steve Bowen and Woody Hoberg will install 2 new rollout solar arrays to the exterior of the space station.
Over time, our existing legacy arrays, they degrade. This is expected and normal, part of aging. And so our ability to augment that power is really important for us, especially as we want to continue research, and eventually we'll be also incorporating the Axiom modules as well onto ISS, and so we need to have as much power as possible.
Each new iROSA will produce more than 20 kilowatts of electricity, and once all are installed, will enable a 30% increase in power production over the station's current arrays. You can keep up with the activities on the space station anytime. Follow us on nasa.gov or on Twitter at space_station or at NASA_Johnson. And that's Space to Ground for now. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Yeah, that's Space to Ground. Let's see, May can get us back going. There. All right. Sorry for the interruption that we had. Can you guys see me? I hope you can. Things are happening here, and I think we've got it back together now. So, yes. All right. Sorry about that little slight interruption in the feed there. I think I got fat-fingered, hit the wrong button, and shut myself off. But I'm back on here, so hopefully you may have two feeds here, may have you restarting. But that was Space to Ground that we just watched, and that was what's going on the space station out there. There's one more video from NASA that I want you to pick up on, and this is What's Up. It's only out, they only put this out once a month, but it's real interesting because it lets you see some things that are going on in the night sky. And I last month, you could actually see a couple of planets close to the moon. I went out at dusk. As a matter of fact, I was driving back from down here to the studio, and I could see those planets, and it was fantastic because, you think some of those things are stars, but after getting some information and looking at it, I could see, that was two different planets that were up there in the night sky. So we're going to go and see what there is that we can look at tonight in the night sky and all through the month of June with What's Up at NASA. Here we go.
What's up for June? Planets buzz the beehive, your bright evening stars, and how the summer solstice revealed the size of planet Earth. On June 1st and 2nd, Mars will be in the beehive. The red planet passes through the beehive cluster, also known as Praesepe or M44. It's a well-known open cluster of stars located about 600 light-years away in the constellation Cancer, the Crab. The pairing will make for great summer solstice revealed the size of planet Earth. On June 1st and 2nd, Mars will be in the beehive. The red planet passes through the beehive cluster, also known as Praesepe or M44. It's a well-known open cluster of stars located about 600 light-years away in the constellation Cancer, the Crab. The pairing will make for great viewing through binoculars or a small telescope, with a sparkle of faint stars surrounding the rust-colored disk of Mars. You can watch Mars and Venus draw closer together throughout the month in the western sky following sunset. Nearby is brilliant blue-white star Regulus, the heart of Leo, the lion. And on the 20th through the 22nd, the crescent moon passes through, making an especially lovely grouping at dusk on June 21st. Turning to the morning sky, Saturn and Jupiter rise before dawn, with the ringed planet rising around midnight and leading brilliant Jupiter into the new day. Early risers will find them on the eastern side of the sky before sunup all month long. And you'll find Jupiter rising with the crescent moon on June 14th. Facing southward early on June evenings, you'll notice two particularly bright stars high up in the sky. They are Spica and Arcturus. Blue-white Spica is the brightest star in the constellation Virgo, the Maiden. It's located about 250 light-years away and is actually two stars orbiting each other every 4 days at a distance far closer than Mercury orbits our Sun. Orange giant Arcturus is the brightest star in the constellation Boötes, the Herdsman. It's the fourth brightest star in the sky. It's much closer than Spica at a distance of about 37 light-years. It's also quite an old star compared to our Sun at an age of 7 to 8 billion years. Also on June evenings, you'll notice the stars of the summer triangle, Vega, Deneb, and Altair, rising in the couple of hours after dark and heralding the long, warm nights of northern summer. The triangle rises earlier each month as summer progresses. June 21st is the summer solstice for the northern hemisphere and winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. For the north, it's the longest day of the year as the sun traces its highest, longest path across the sky. More hours of sunlight, in addition to the more direct angle of the sun overhead, translate into warmer summertime temperatures for our planet's summer hemisphere. The situation is reversed for those living south of the equator, where it's the shortest day of the year during the cool months of winter. The June summer solstice has another interesting claim to fame. It helped the ancient Greeks 2,200 years ago to understand the size of our planet with remarkable accuracy. A scholar named Eratosthenes noted the difference in the length of the shadows cast by poles placed in the ground in two cities 800 kilometers apart at noon on the day of the solstice. One cast no shadow at all, and the other cast a significant shadow. By comparing the shadows with the separation of the two cities, Eratosthenes deduced that Earth was about 40,000 kilometers in circumference, which is the actual value. He was also the first to calculate the tilt of Earth's axis, which, after all, is what's responsible for the solstices and for the seasons themselves. Here are the phases of the moon for June. Stay up to date with all of NASA's missions to explore the solar system and beyond at nasa.gov. I'm Preston Dykes from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and that's what's up for this month.
All right. Yeah, that's what's up this month at NASA. A lot of things going on. I tell you, that night sky is really interesting. I thought, man, what kind of math did the guy use to kind of figure it out? But the ancients weren't totally illiterate people or not thinking people. So even in Africa, in the early dawn of civilization, there was mathematicians and mathematics there that were formed and spread throughout the world, that they've been able to think and figure and look at the different things in the sky and on Earth and do some fantastic calculations. I tell you, when you think about all that goes on in mathematics and what can be deduced or theorized through mathematics, it's astounding. It is definitely astounding. But that's some of the stuff that we have for you that comes from NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. And we are just so glad to be able to pass that on to you. Be sure and have your kids this summer. You may go to the NASA website. It's nasa.gov. You go there, they have some science projects. They have experiments that you can do with your child. They can be learning throughout the summer. They don't have to lose everything that they had in school over the summer months. And they can have some fun with what they learn also. So NASA has a fantastic website with a lot of good information, and not just for kids. You can learn something yourself if you dig it out over there, so you might want to check into it. Well, I had a meeting today, and we're looking at doing some things with our BFTAA Robotics Club. Those that don't know about it, we have two robotics teams, one in VEX, which is VEX Robotics, and another one in Lego Robotics. And we serve kids from 9 years old to 18 years old in our robotics, and we participate in robotics competitions. We also have a drone program that we just started this year. We actually train and encourage kids how to learn how to fly drones. So we're constantly getting the technology and trying to get our kids to be in the forefront of these things. So we have a drone program, we have a robotics program, and one of our robotics programs, the Lego Robotics, was just in a meeting today and was talking with the coach, the lead coach, our new coach there, Miss Valencia, and she's wanting to start working with the kids earlier, because when they go to competitions, they really have to be on their toes, and we compete against schools and kids that are working 2 or 3 days a week after school and in their classrooms, and we do a Saturday program. So we're looking at how do we get our kids involved with more time on task as an out-of-school project, and also to improve their skills over that shorter time frame. So one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to do some workshops starting in July to start getting our kids ready for the competition bill. So we were just talking about that. I'm going to roll it out. You're hearing it before some of the other members, or if members are listening right now, they're able to pick up on this. You know, and I didn't check my phone to verify how we are going out. I think our signal is going out good, but it's always good to check. Sometimes we've had a show where you guys, I'm hearing myself in here, and it looks like everything is going out, but nobody else is hearing me. So even though the show is already up and going for a while now, I thought, yeah, let me look at it and see what we look like online. To be sure, to be sure, to be sure. Let's see, I don't see us here. Now let's go here. So yeah, you guys can always help out too. If you text me and let me know if you are picking us up, if you see us, if we're sounding okay, if things are looking right. Because I've got to also bring up our our chat line so that you can chat with us. Let's see if the chat line refreshes and comes. There it is. Okay. So if you see this now, Facebook live chat connections established on our KUAW Facebook page, which is KUAW dash radio. If you go there, you can put in comments and questions or anything like that, and we'll see them live on the screen. They come up right on the screen here. So any show. Okay. So there, I'm picking myself up. That's good. I'm going to turn off this desktop side, though. Sounds like I'm talking double. All right. So, yeah, that's kind of what we're doing here. So we're going out. Got a little bit of the echo in there, but I think I've taken that out now because I stopped the part of our OBS system. But, yeah, our young people, we're wanting to get them out and early. So July 15th is when we're looking at right now tentatively of starting the workshops on Saturday. And this won't be part of our robotics team competition because the new game is not out yet. But we want to get our kids some skills and build up their robot knowledge and abilities over the summer. So if you have a young person or a child or a grandchild or niece or nephew or somebody at your church or that is interested in robotics, go to our website and they can enroll on our website for the robotics program. And if their Lego is 9 to 12 years old, so if they're from 9 to 12 years old, we're going to be meeting on Saturday starting July the 15th for a couple of hours so that the kids can be ready that when school starts, because once school starts, the competition phase will begin. So we're going to do a free, absolutely free workshops that'll be going on the weekends of July and the second half of July and the first half of August to get kids ready for the robotics competition. I think school starts the last week, third or fourth week in August. So we'll be able to get at least about 4 or 5 sessions to give them a jump on learning, especially new kids, because if they haven't been in robotics before, it's all new to them. So we're going to be getting ready for competition, so we need to have them get involved with it early. So we're going to get kids started, and we want to get kids started in July, and they're going to be learning the robotics basics, just how the programming works, what you have to do for it, and all of that. But we're going to start from the beginning of it and let it work. So get your child, let us know. You can go to our website, our Facebook page, just put in. But we're going to be starting workshops in robotics for our kids in July. Now, also for you adults out there, if you would like to help out, if you'd like to volunteer, if you'd like to work with us and you say, well, I don't know anything about robots and stuff. Well, we're also going to have some workshops for adults. So we're going to be setting that up so that you can learn about robotics, about the Lego robot early. So if you'd like to volunteer and help out, but you feel like you don't know enough about it or you may not, be ready for it, we're going to be stay tuned. We don't have that class set up yet, but hopefully we'll start it the same times that the young people do. They'll start in July, and we'll start some adults. You won't be in there with the kids, though. You'll be in a separate location, probably a separate time and day. But for those that are interested in helping young people and wanting to learn about the robotics program, the Lego robotics program, sign up on our Facebook page or on our web page. Go to BFTAA.org. And in the middle of the BFTAA.org page, you'll actually see a sign up for volunteers. So if you'll click on that, fill out the information and say you want to be a part of the Lego workshops, Learn Lego Robotics Workshop, put that in the notes, and we'll contact you and let you know when we're going to start. So we're looking for volunteers to help out our Lego program, and we're going to be doing workshops and some training so that you'll be able to learn how you can be of help. So we don't want to just throw you in there and you say, well, I don't know anything about this, and I can't help the kids if I don't know. So by August, when school starts, you'll have the basics down, and we'll have you ready to help out our young people and learn how they can help them to be a better competition story when they go up against the other kids. So we want you, we need you, we hope that you'll sign up. This is George Walker. We've been working with the robots for a few years now, and we always get in some good volunteers. So if you'd like to volunteer and help, we sure could use you. So think about it and contact the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, and you too can become one of our volunteers. Yeah, I'm looking at this screen. It looks a little fuzzy. Let me see how I can adjust that if possible. And this is all a good learning thing. One of the things that we do here is to help each other learn. So we learn about robotics, even this broadcast that you see now. This is a learning laboratory. We hadn't did broadcast before we started doing this. We didn't come up broadcasting, but we started it as something that we can add on. And right now, we're even looking at expanding it more in the community. We've got some things that we've been meeting with organization and seeing about expanding our broadcast clubs that we have for young people. And that can't give you any more information than that right now until we get some ink and paper down, get the contracts and our MOUs and everything we want to do. But the main thing I want to let you know is that we're constantly learning, and if you want to learn about technology, computers, drones, the internet, all of that type of stuff, then contact the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. We don't just work with young people, we work with the community. So we want to help everybody become more computer literate. And that's just what we do. We're going to be down. I talked with a lady today, and hopefully we're going to be have us a table at the Juneteenth celebration for the city, downtown Kansas City on the 15th. And we'll be passing out some information so that you can get in touch, find out a little bit more about what the Black Family Technology Awareness Association does and how you can get involved or how you can learn from what we do. One of the things I want to tell you about is that there is some funding right now to help people pay for internet access. There's a lot of organizations that are offering you help to get you signed up, and before the funds are snatched back, because you saw this new budget deal and they're pulling back some of the funds that were given for COVID relief, before it's all gone, before you can't get it, you need to sign up. If you don't have internet at home and you meet the guidelines, the income guidelines, if you have kids, you can get help from the government on having internet in your house. And even other than that, there is help to have internet in your home from most of your internet service providers, Spectrum, Comcast, Google, AT&T. These companies have ways that you can get internet if you meet the certain qualifications, if you're getting SNAP benefits, if your income's at a certain level, all of the requirements, you can get internet access, some as low as $10, $15 a month. And that's a bargain considering that a lot of people have to pay $50, $60, $70, $80, $100 a month for internet access. So if you don't have internet access and you want it, start finding out about it. Contact them. Contact us here. Hit us up on KUAW on our Facebook, on our Twitter, Instagram, any way that you can, and we can put you in touch with people that can get you signed up for internet access. It may not be totally free, it may be free, it may be low cost, but if you are in certain guidelines, if you meet the criteria, we can get you signed up. So please contact the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, or a number of other groups around the city, if you know that they work with technology, and find out how you can get it, because we all should have internet access at home. I think it's almost a basic that you need to have in order for the communications and stuff. I know there's some bad things can happen with the internet, and people hear all the scary stories, but I think it's better to have it than not have it for me right now. Okay? That's the way I feel about it. Now, I'm not one that's running around thinking that the world's coming to an end, although I know we should be cautious. We should be looking at all the innovations that's coming up, because good things can happen and bad things can happen with technology. So we want to make sure that we do stay up on the technology, but I don't think you can roll it back right now. There's a lot going on with AI, which is artificial intelligence right now. You may have heard that on the news. I've been reading up and trying to learn more about it myself, but artificial intelligence just in and of itself is not a bad word. So just because somebody says they're using artificial intelligence or that this has artificial intelligence, that's not necessarily a bad word. But the future and what artificial intelligence can do could be bad for a lot of reasons. So we have to stay up. It's another tool that can be used for misinformation, for deception, but it also can do good. I was looking at one article where a person is learning to walk now. Artificial intelligence is helping with that. And should we say we shouldn't do that? Somebody that's a paraplegic or has lost certain abilities that artificial intelligence can help you with, don't want to have that? Or do we want to make sure that it is used in the right way? Some people think it's the end of the world, that we can be going towards a Terminator scenario. I've heard, and not just any crackpots. There's been some renowned scientists, some of the people that have worked on creating artificial intelligence, that are saying, well, maybe we better slow down. Well, you didn't slow down when you was creating it, so it's going to be hard to slow it down now. And one of the things is like I say, if we stop in the United States using artificial intelligence or developing it and stuff, does that mean the other countries are going to stop? Does that mean that our adversaries are going to stop? I doubt that. So it's one thing, it's almost like the nuclear arms race now. You got them. Everybody's got them now. Now they don't use them because they know it could bring about the end. Artificial intelligence is going to be the same way, and it may be that it gets out of control, and then we're going to have to deal with the results of that. But I think it is here, and we really have to stay in touch with it, with the regulations, with laws, with controls over it. Because artificial intelligence is basic machine learning, that it may try to go through door A and it's locked, and it can figure out that door B is unlocked, so it'll go over to the next door without you having to do any more programming. So artificial intelligence means that it learns from its own environment, from what it is doing. And as it gets better and better, it's just like talking to the computers now or talking to your car. That is a very rudimentary artificial intelligence. Using the Google turn on your lights when you come home, those type of things. That is the start of artificial intelligence. You're starting to interact with the computer with the voice commands, and then it's recognizing and responding. And at some point, it may even respond to other nonverbal commands. The fact that you come in the house, it may decide to turn on the light. There may be sensors in your house that lets it know where you are, and that it'll turn on the lights as you move from room to room and turn off the lights that you leave. Could be something that you say is dangerous, could be something that makes you lazy, and yes, it could. We're guilty of it. How many of us, even today, as we talk about it, could make you lazy? How many of you actually get up and go to your television to change the channel. You don't. Most people don't. They sit in their chair and change. That's making us lazy. You used to have to get up out your chair, walk across the room, turn the channel, go back and sit down. Now you don't. Now, would you want to go back to that? Do you want to get rid of the remote controls and have to go change your channels or punch in the buttons and stuff for your channels that there is no remote controls? I mean, those are the questions that we have to answer, because that's what artificial intelligence is building on. Some things that we're doing now, our parents would have thought, well, why aren't you doing that yourself? You're getting lazy. It's part of a change and innovation that has happened and has continued to happen. Machinery has been doing more and more of our work all through time, and it's continuing to do that. Now, how do we respond? How do we react? How do we work with it becomes a question for mankind. I mean, we used to have to saw wood by hand, and it would take a long time. Now people use power saws. That's, there's some people I saw where they're working on the Notre Dame cathedral that burned down, and they're actually making the wooden beams for the roof of that building the same way they did in the 1200s. There were no power saws. That people used axes. There were no real saws. So all those beams were cut by hand with axes. And that's what they're doing now. They're using axes to cut and build those so that they know how to make timbers, how to make those beams by hand. Now, do we want to build all our buildings that way? That's the thing. You didn't have to worry about the machine then, because it was all controlled by the man. The man used his hands to do it. He didn't have a power saw. He didn't even have a saw with teeth. In the 1200s, you used an axe. There was no teeth and no saws going back and forth. So we have constantly been evolving and changing and doing things in a different way. Artificial intelligence, yes, it's a sea change in the way we're doing things, but it is something that has been happening from the beginning. Is it the end of mankind? Could they replace mankind? I don't know. That's something that we are yet to see. But I trust in God that this is all part of the plan. This is all part of the plan, and we're going to work with it and move forward. And I know that God has a plan, and he's looking out to do something good for us, not bad for us. So that's my thoughts on it with artificial intelligence. I'm going to keep reading, keep studying. I would think that you should also. But don't always think that everything new is bad. It's not everything new is good. Let's just think it is new. And then we decide as we use it or as we can use it, what we'll do with it. So that's it for today. Think about artificial intelligence. Sign your kids up for our robotics workshop. Get in touch with us. You want to find out about it and stuff. We'll tell you how you can get signed up for the Black Family Technology Awareness Association in partnership with the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center workshops, robotics workshops that are going to be happening Saturdays right here at the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. So get in touch with us. We want to work with you. We want to work with your children. We want to work with the community. This is the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. I am your host, George Walker. This has been BFTAA and More Show. Glad that you've been with us. Glad that you're watching, and be with us again next Monday for BFTAA and More. All right. Now, we won't have B. Michael with Shifting Paradigms this evening. I believe he is going on a honeymoon, and I'd say congratulations to the newlywed couple. I hope they enjoy themselves, and B. Michael will be back at some point. But this has been the BFTAA and More Show. Glad you were here. We will do a replay of one of the Shifting Paradigm shows, but congratulations. All the best to the newlyweds. All right. See you next week. Bye-bye.